Nobody ever told Leo that changing his life would feel so strange. The books made it sound exciting, the podcast made it sound empowering. Even the people who spoke about transformation seemed to glow with certainty, as if they had crossed some invisible bridge and never looked back. But when Leo decided to reset his mind, it felt less like stepping into the light and more like wandering through fog. For years, his life had followed the same pattern: wake up, check his phone, compare himself to strangers online, rush through work, complain about things he never tried to change, stay up late thinking about all the things he wished were different. It wasn't a terrible life that was the problem. It was comfortable enough to stay the same. One rainy evening, after another day that looked exactly like the previous thousands, Leo sat by his apartment window and asked himself a simple question: what if my mind is running on old instructions? The thought stayed with him. Imagine his mind as a computer that had been running the same program for years. Every disappointment, every fear, every assumption had become part of the code. Maybe the problem wasn't his circumstances, maybe the problem was the script. The next morning, he decided to conduct an experiment. For 30 days, he would act as if he were a different version of himself, not a fake version, a reset version. The first change was small. Instead of reaching for his phone when he woke up, he sat in silence for 5 minutes. It felt ridiculous. His brain screamed for stimulation. The silence felt uncomfortable, almost painful. By the third minute, he wanted to quit, but he didn't. The second change was harder. Whenever he got himself thinking, "I can do that," he replaced it with, "I haven't learned that yet." The sentence sounded awkward, forced, artificial. His old thoughts felt natural. The new ones felt like shoes that didn't fit. Still, he kept going. A week later, something unexpected happened. Nothing. No breakthrough, no dramatic realization, no sudden happiness, and that frustrated him. He wanted proof that the reset was working. Instead, all he had was discomfort. The silence was uncomfortable, the new habits were uncomfortable. Even speaking differently felt uncomfortable. One afternoon, while walking through a park, he considered giving up. Then he noticed an old gardener planting trees. The man moved slowly but carefully, pressing each young tree into the soil. Leo watched for a moment before asking, "How long before those trees become tall?" The gardener smiled. "Years." "Years," Leo said. The answer disappointed him. The gardener nodded. People think growth happens when they can see it. Most of the important work happens on the ground first. Leo thought about that all evening. Maybe his roots were growing. Maybe change wasn't supposed to feel good immediately. Maybe awkwardness wasn't evidence of failure. Maybe it was evidence of construction. The following weeks became a battle between two versions of himself. The old Leo wanted certainty, the new Leo accepted uncertainty. The old Leo wanted immediate results, the new Leo focused on daily actions. The old Leo repeated familiar fears, the new Leo questioned them. Every day felt strange, like speaking a language he barely knew, like writing with his non-dominant hand, like becoming someone he had never met before. Then came the hardest part. His friends noticed. "You've changed," one of them said. The words were not a compliment. People are comfortable when you stay predictable. When you begin changing, they have no adjust to. Someone supported him, someone mocked him, some seemed uncomfortable around him. For a while, Leo wondered if he should return to his old habits just to make everyone feel comfortable again. But then he realized something important. His old life had been comfortable. It had also been stagnant. Growth and comfort rarely lived in the same room. Months passed. The changes remained subtle. He still had doubts. He still had bad days, he still made mistakes, but something fundamental had shifted. His thoughts no longer controlled him as easily. He noticed negative patterns sooner. He recovered from setbacks faster. He became more curious and less afraid. Most importantly, he stopped believing every thought that entered his mind. One morning, nearly a year after beginning the experiment, Leo returned to the same window where the idea had started. The city looked the same. The buildings hadn't changed, the streets hadn't changed, the weather hadn't changed. Yet everything felt different because he was different. Reset had not erased his past. It had not made him perfect. It had not removed every fear or challenge. Instead, it had given him something more available, a new relationship with his own mind. He finally understood that a mental reset was not a single event, it was a practice, a decision repeated every day, the choice to question old beliefs, the courage to create new patterns, the willingness to endure the awkward stage between who you were and who you are becoming. Leo smiled. The awkwardness he had feared so much was never the enemy. It was the doorway. Every meaningful transformation begins with discomfort because the mind resists unfamiliar territory. But unfamiliar does not mean wrong. A seed breaking open looks like destruction before it becomes growth. A caterpillar dissolves before it becomes a butterfly. And people often feel lost before they discover a better version of themselves. The possibility to reset the mind exists for everyone, not because humans can erase their past, but because they can rewrite the future. The process is rarely elegant. It is often messy, frequently uncomfortable, sometimes lonely. Yet, on the other side of the awkward transition lies something remarkable. A life redirected by conscious choice rather than unconscious habit. And perhaps that is the greatest reset of all.